Hi everybody. So today we're gonna do a little bit of Yang Tai Chi. We're gonna be working on the 8 energies. So first we'll go through each one individually, just briefly from a couple different angles. And we're gonna put them back together for you into the sequence of all 8. Later on, probably next week, I'll be putting up a video. It does a little bit more breakdown and a little bit more talking about each component of that practice. All right. If you have any questions, make sure you leave some comments for me, and I'll do my best to answer them in upcoming videos here. Okay. Let's go ahead and get started. We'll do a very brief warm-up and run from there. Starting with the feet just shoulder width apart. We'll work out on those shoulders first. Rising, falling. You're just doing a few repetitions on each one. Letting your whole body move, feeling from the ground, rising up through the shoulders. And just letting those shoulders fall down through the back to the feet. Now we'll take it, roll the shoulders forward through the motion. Same idea, feeling from the ground, rising up through the back. Feel it roll through the elbow and down. Keep this warm up a bit short, so we're just going to take a small step out to the side here, covering across the front with the hand, letting the waist twist slightly, and feeling those hips shift through a figure 8. Feeling that gathering feeling inward from the outside to the inside. Try to keep yourself even across your chair. It can be really tempting to bob or bounce. Try to keep it even, like smooth water, like glass. Okay, now coming into the center, a very similar sort of motion in that we're utilizing our figure 8 at our hip. But now we're going to draw upward, just like you're lifting something up that center line and then letting it fall out and away as you turn. If you want, you can open up the hand as it comes through. So again, feeling yourself as even as you can. Shifting across, turning around that figure 8. Okay. Good. Stepping back together. Covering. All right. Let's go ahead and take a little look at some of our energetics here. The first one is ward off. All right. I'll go through ward off. And in the future, we'll go through it in sections of 4. So the first 4 would be ward off, roll back, press, and push. All right. And the second set of 4 is plucking, splitting, elbow, shoulder. Okay. So we'll break it down in that sense once again in a later video. For that first motion, we're going to do our ward off. All right. This is a forward moving and rising action. You can think about the word buoyancy, all right? Or you can think about a balloon or a ball or a bubble. As a single exercise, we're going to come back to hold the ball on one side and forward. Just going to do 3 repetitions. So that's 1. 2. And 3. And I'm going to change sides here. 3 times on that other side. 1. Come back to hold the ball. 2. And number 3. Now from a side view, to up. Rolling back, coming up and through. Two and through. 3. One more time to that other side here. 1. Come back. 2 more. There's 2 different ways you can really do the ward off. I mean, really, in actuality, there's a lot of different ways. But for our purposes, the 2 ways that we tend to do it would be really simplified. That difference is hands apart versus hands together. Okay. Remember, your energetics are really about the flow of the force through your movements, right? And sort of how do you generate that force? Right? You want to use very little muscle to create that force, and you want to use more of your structural strength to create that sort of buoyancy or that floating. Okay, and we can break those things down in later videos. But for that second way of doing it, we can do it with the hands together. All right, I'm not going to go through it too many times here on this one, but we'd come back to hold the ball and let that low hand gain that buoyancy to ward off up towards the front, meeting with that forward hand. Okay. I'm just going to give you a side view here of this once more. We hold the ball and we can bring it together and roll back. Okay. And together. All right. So those are 2 options of ways we can approach doing that ward off. Don't need to worry too much about specifics on that for right now. Second one, roll back. All right, roll back, really simple. Okay, roll back, we're going to have one hand palm up, one hand palm down. All right, this is going to fall to our open side being the side of our rear leg. All right, so we're going to let it fall through that space. This is a roll back, all right, and it'll come back up. I think it's important to practice through that whole range all the way up to here. because it's very tempting to pull the arms back, lift the arms, and carry those arms in sort of a more strenuous or muscular way. All right. You really, in a lot of ways, are just letting the hands float back up in front of you with your waist twisted. Okay. So we'll do a few times on each side on this one. We roll back, twisting, let the hands rise, and we'll just bring the hands forward to do it again. All right. Just as a single exercise, just this motion on its own. Roll back. Okay. Other side. All right. One palm down, one palm up. Floats up. Catch to the front. Roll back. Yeah. I guess technically should be open side, hand up, closed side, hand down. Okay. So if I do it to this side, side view, that's my left palm on my left side, up. My right side, palm down. Catch. One more time. And over to my other side. Rolling back. Forward roll. Bring it back. 2. 3. Okay. So we've got ward off, we've got roll back, now onto our press, all right? Press can be described as compression. All right, so we're going to carry it from our roll back and move into our press. This will give you a little bit more of a natural flow of things. So we'll carry it from the roll back, up, into our press, roll back, up, and into our press. And on your own time, you should go back and review each one of these a little bit. We roll back and press, roll back and press. And to that open side. Compressing. Really, your rear hand is doing most of the work here. So my left hand is pressing up against my right, moving my right hand forward by the power of that expansion of the left side, the open side of my body. We bring it back over to the other side now. Press. Bring it back. Press. One last time. Okay. All right. And to round out that last of the first 4 energies, your push. Okay. Your push, very simply, setting the elbow, gliding forward. All right. Setting the elbow down so the fingertips rise, heel the palm moves forward, and finishing in a comfortable forward stance. When I think about pushing, I like to think about the idea of sending something away from me. And we set back. The wave coming down, swelling and building and sending out. sit, elbows down, push. It's a very small movement, shifting and send it away. Let's do one more time, nice and smooth. Okay. All right. Splitting, I'm just going to do facing you, one direction here. Plucking, I'm just going to do the same thing, facing. They kind of more or less move towards the corner, so hopefully you'll be able to see enough angles of this. I will once again review a little bit more in depth on some later on videos for everybody to get some more clarity on the individual actions. Okay. So now we're going to go over the plucking, the splitting, the elbowing, and the shoulder motion. Okay. So let's go plucking, sitting back and twisting. Okay, so I can just gather and sit back and twist. I want to be in essentially a forward stance to the corner, and I'm going to sit down and twist back through that motion. Twist. And just one more here. I'm making two fists. Small edge forward with that foot. Come back, pluck the other side. Just looking for fluidity right now. Okay. Eventually you can be more explosive and use it as more of that plucking sort of sensation. All right. Abruptly tugging. All right, or plucking. Last time. Okay. Now to splitting. Small step forward, very ever so slight. Once again to the corner. So I'm going to cover through. All right, one hand on top, one hand on bottom. And I'm going to shift and twist and open up. So as you move through, you want to feel those different components. Right, covering down and through, shifting and twisting to open. Down and covering through, shifting and twisting and open. Okay. Other side here. Catch low. Cover high and split. This component right here is the split. That's what we're looking for. Okay. Now, elbow, shoulder. All right. Elbow is a little bit tricky. I'm just once again going to breeze through it. So we'll look at it a little bit more later on. Main thing to really remember is, let's say we're coming from a splitting location. We're going to reach forward on our same leg forward first, all right? So this hand is already out in front. We're going to let it go just a little bit further, okay? And that little bit of extra tensioning you're getting through that motion, when you sit down, will allow you to come in and meet with the elbow, right? And you can just get a little padding sound on that elbow, right? It's really mostly about how do you position this piece and this spiral together, okay? So if I'm going from that open position, little extension, let that arm relax in to expose that elbow and come through. We'll open back up, extend, sit. Okay, make sure this knee stays open through that motion. Open, extend, sit. Okay. And one last time. Open, extend, and sit. All right, other side. Open, extend, and sit. Open, extend, and sit. Open, extend, and sit. Okay. And if you really want to make this a little bit more fluid coming out, all right, we can go from here just right back to here, all right, and then working just a little bit more abruptly on this piece, all right. So we have that extension, we have that sit, we have that extension, all right. So we can keep building through that. If you like the little bit bigger movement for the run-in, perfectly all right. I personally like the little bit bigger movement to build me into that action. Okay. All right, last motion. After we've elbowed, we're going to step diagonally through that shape. All right. So we've elbowed, we're stepping diagonally. All right, and we're going to clear with that shoulder line. Now, depending on what sort of orientation you want to take at the end, you may go more towards the corner, you may go more towards the front, and you may go a little bit more towards the side. All right, we're going to go a little bit more towards the side. This will line you up for that, that combination of the sequence. All right, so from here, we're going to go a little bit more sideways, slightly forward with that step, but a little bit more sideways, and sit. Okay. We'll come back, and we'll just step back into place. Okay. Up and through. Okay. Glide back. Bring it into elbow position, step, and through. Okay. It's okay if you have trouble following that one. We'll do it a little bit more fluidly together with just walking on this one. Step out and shoulder at the whole side of your body moving in. Okay. Elbow position. Step lateral. Elbow position. Step lateral. One more time. Step lateral, okay? And if we want to make this a series of motions, we can go elbow, shoulder, all right? Elbow, shoulder, elbow, shoulder. Okay, last one. Okay, good. So that's all 8 energies. We're going to do them real quickly in sequence to cap things off today. I'm going to run through it one time, going towards you first. I'm going to do it one time, moving away from you. Okay. Go ahead, go back through. All right. Rewatch as many times as you need to. Like I said, I'm going to segment some stuff up a little bit for future videos. So hopefully, if you just want to practice only the sequence, you'll have an opportunity to do that. If you just want to practice only on the first 4 energies, you'll have an opportunity for that. And the same thing with the last set, right? I just wanted to give you all a fair amount to work on right out of the gate, okay? So, moving towards you first. I'm going to start coming up to the corner. For this version, I'm going to use my hands together. All right, warding off hands together. Sit back. Roll back, pressing. Sit back and pushing. These first four energies should link together seamlessly. Now I sit and pluck. Hold the ball and split. Extend out and elbow. Coming through. Gliding slightly lateral for that shoulder. Now we'll pivot slightly. Okay. Hold the ball on the right side. Ward off to that left corner. Roll back. Press. Sit back. Pushing. Plucking. Make two fists. Twist. Splitting. Elbow. Find it. And moving towards that lateral motion. All right, one more time on each side. Hold the ball. Warding off. Roll back. Take your time. Press. Sit. And push. Plucking. Splitting. Elbow. Shoulder. Gather. Hold the ball. Ward off to the corner. Roll back. Pressing. Sit back. Pushing. Plucking. Splitting. Elbow. Shoulder. Coming up. And covering. Okay. All right. Now let's go through it. I'll face that other direction. Hopefully make it a wee bit easier for you to follow. Moving off to my right side first. Hold the ball. Warding off. We'll just do 2 times each side. Roll back. Pressing. Sit back. Pushing. Plucking. Splitting. Elbow. And shoulder. Facing to that corner. Hold the ball. Ward off. Roll back. Pressing. Sit back. Pushing. Plucking. Splitting. Elbow. Shoulder. Off to the corner. Once more each side. Ward off. Roll back. Pressing. Push. Plucking. Splitting. Elbow. Shoulder. Come back. Hold the ball. Last one. Ward off. Buoyancy. Drawing. Roll back. Pressing compression. Sitting, drawing through the elbow and send it away. Sit, plucking, hand on top, splitting, Extend that left hand out. Elbow, cross, shoulder line. We'll step up here and cover. Okay. Go ahead and shake it out a little bit. Hopefully you got a little something to work on. Like I said, you can break it down a lot of different ways, and we will break it down a little bit coming up through the future here. Keep your eyes open for more videos, all right? And we'll keep posting them up, hopefully weekly for a little while here. And I hope everybody has a wonderful day.